Hi, Tasha.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. And I know you're like a whole icon star, all of that. But I am so into P Valley right now, and you directing this episode.
Ah,
Okay. All right. I just wanted to say
yes.
that first. I wanted to get that. I had to get that energy out for me because
I,
I
I love
love
P.
P Valley.
I'm obsessed, and I was there, sis. I was there, and what Katori created in the world of Chuckalisa. Okay, it's like,
Mississippi.
honey, it's amazing.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. But first, let me talk about you because first I'm going to
Okay,
run through these receipts because they're
let's
long.
talk.
Okay. And I gotta say a proper shout out to Charlie Penn, my co-host. Your New Jersey girl. She is
Yes,
not here.
sorry.
The storm took out the power in her beautiful house.
Really.
So yeah. So she
It's
just
forming like that out there, right? I can't believe it.
yeah. I mean, it's beautiful today, but yesterday it was really real.
Oh my God.
So she's really
Well,
heartbroken.
well, tell her I'm sending her some love, okay?
Okay, cool. But Tasha, you have appeared in over 25 films since 1994, which and some of them are our faves: ATL, Daddy's Little Girls, Couple Retreats, Why Did I Get Married, 1 and 2, Jumping the Broom, Addicted. And then you've done over 20,000 TV shows, including The Corner, For Better or For Worse, Nick Tuck, Girlfriend, The Games. And you were directing When Love Kills, the Felicia Blakely story, episodes of Star, 911, Black Lightning, and now you're going to do P Valley, which the world's about to see in a few weeks. But also, you have like a whole acting class studio that you run.
Yes.
And then you're just a whole testimony in yourself. So we've covered you. We have literally covered you. You've had an Essence cover. We fell in love with you from the moment we saw you. But please just get us up to date on what you've been doing, how you've been handling this pandemic, how have you been centering yourself? What's new with you?
Well, first of all, I was in the middle of prepping a new series for Amazon that I was up to direct called Harlem, which I will go back to direct once this whole craziness is over. So I was in New York prepping, pandemic hit. They closed down everything, sent us all home. I was packed in New York for like 3 months because I was doing a TV show, a movie. I mean, just back to back. I came home, sis. I didn't unpack my luggage for about 2 to 3 weeks because I thought that it's about to be over. I could keep my luggage packed. I'll be headed back to New York to go back to work. Cut two, never left. Okay. I started cooking every day, Corey. Corey, I just decided I'm going to have a vacation. I was making pasta, crab, all kinds of stuff. And after a month, I gained damn near 20 pounds, I felt like. So then I decided clean
Can
out.
we have a moment for the pounds? Let's just have a moment for the pounds. It is what it is.
Listen, it was crazy. I heard someone saying while I was in the middle of feeding my face, right? They were like, well, honey, you may need to have 6 feet distance away from the refrigerator. That's what you need to quarantine from, okay? But sis, it was all good because I needed that rest time, but then it motivated me to clean out my garage. That, I've been in my house for 12 years. I've never cleaned out the garage. I cleaned out the garage and I created the most beautiful gym. I have Equinox in my garage. So that was motivating. So for me, I just decided to start doing things that I wasn't able to do because I was so busy, cleaned out my garage, cleaned out my acting studio because I knew that we weren't coming back to class anymore. And I basically have launched TSAW online that it's launching tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'm excited about that. So TSAW is no longer going to be in class. It's going to be all online, global and worldwide. And so I've just been creative, working with my school, developing my projects, and in the gym.
Well, at least you've been in it. It's funny when you said you created a gym, I thought you meant GEM. And I thought you were going to say, like, I've created a studio, I've created this. Or...
Well, that is a GEM, though. It's a gem, too.
True,
it's a gem and it's a gym, okay?
But I totally relate to you about avoiding things. I've been in my condo for 10 years, and there is stuff that I realized I have avoided for 10 years, like little pockets of papers and everything. And this pandemic self-isolation has made me face those things and get rid of stuff. And I feel clearer.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, I feel more motivated, I think, than I've ever felt. And I've just been able to be with myself, develop and finish working on projects that I wasn't given the proper time to, and just loving on myself. I was just telling a friend today, I was like, we can't quit. We can't give up. We have to not only keep faith in God, but we also have to keep faith in ourselves, our friends and colleagues, our community. You know what I mean? This pandemic is rough. You know, we may go in and out sometimes, but it's important for us to know that this too shall pass in whatever way it passes. Maybe the passing of it is going to be us learning how to live with it and not being in fear, but because of it, you know, because wasn't the first 3-4 weeks like fear? But now we're learning how to cope.
No, you're right, because I think we were all like, what is this? And I had avoided watching Contagion until we were like
at home. I'm crazy.
Yeah. And when I finally watched it, it was like, oh, this is it. This is how this is going to play out. Okay. And that kind of reset my mind, because I was doing the things, but it was just seeing like how this can play out long term, just really set the foundation for me of like, okay, we got to be a little more protective of the family. No, I feel you. Yeah. But speaking of, one other perk with the pandemic has been the binging of amazing at-home entertainment. Yes. And right now, P-Valley, which I'm going to be full disclosure, when I heard, because I always knew that the title was really Pussy Valley. And I was like, oh, what is this? Oh my God, what? I don't want to be bothered. And then I watched it and I was like, oh no, this is real. This is deep. This is some storytelling we haven't seen before. Tell me your first reaction to Katori Hall's groundbreaking series.
Well, first of all, I'm a fan of Katori Hall. I remember I got a chance to first experience her work when my close friend Angela Bassett had starred in Mountaintop on Broadway. And that was my first experience and introduction to Katori. It's interesting because, you know, Angela is a director as well. And she was up to direct P-Valley, but her schedule didn't work out. So she then mentioned me to Katori and said, why don't you think of Tasha Smith? Because she knows this world. She just did a documentary on stripper culture. She was a former stripper. She's killing it as a director. That's who should direct that episode. And so then I had a meeting with Katori and she sent me all the material. And I have to tell you, when I got the scripts and the outlines and just the backstory, it was like a good book that I could not put down. The writing, I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to just direct or if I wanted to act and direct, okay? Because I was like, damn, this is some good stuff. Like, her writing is layered. It's like an orchestra of the best music and sounds and instruments that you've ever heard. The harmony, the colors, the nuances, the world that she's created. I mean, I was gagging over Pussy Valley, okay? Gagging over it. And to get an opportunity to direct an episode and work with one of my students, Brandy Evans, who is Sadie's, who is absolutely killing it. And Nico Annan, who is Uncle Clifford, who is a breath of fresh air. Okay.
His quotes alone, he could have a whole just Twitter feed of quotes,
Honey,
just
I don't
quotes.
know if he's cognac or champagne. Okay. I mean, my God, he's a revelation. And so is she.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it was a great experience. It was great to be a part of something so groundbreaking and interesting. It's just interesting. I love
It's
it.
it's funny you say that because it isn't, I mean, we all tell different stories, but this one is so specific. But then it's like you say, it's so layered that you may think like, and another reason I'm just going to speak honestly, because I was not, not into stripper culture. I'll be honest. I didn't go to my first strip club till about maybe a year ago. And I remember I was there giving money. I first only did $40 because I was like, I'm not giving that much money. I'm just not. And I remember I went to try to get change for a 20, and the girls were like, we only give out 100. No, she was like, you can go try the ATM machine. But all that to say, I went into it all wrong. But after it, I got kind of more interested in it because I was like, well, what are these women doing? What are their lives? And then enter P Valley and really watching it. And like you said, like, I get advanced screening. So I figure, let me just watch one or two. Next thing you know, episode 3, episode 4, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, I might as well just finish the series. I might as well just do it.
It's so good.
It's
and
so good.
I read all of them, and I still, every Sunday, I have my popcorn, my red vines, and my champagne. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I am like, it's like, I don't even know what's going to happen because I'm discovering so many things new with the performances and the world and the visuals, the talented, female directors that she brought on. It's just Katori kicked ass.
Can you tell us a little bit about when you met Brandy Evans, who plays Mercedes? Because I was reading her story, and her testimony alone, her personal life testimony, is really something. And then I was reading something. They said literally she was at the end of her rope, and she was just like, she walked into your acting class.
Yeah, well, when she came into my studio, she was just broken and vulnerable. And I said, that's the best place to be to create art, broken and vulnerable. Our art is sometimes created through the darkest part of us and sometimes through the brightest, lightest part of us. And fortunately, she came to a place that would nurture her and help her find a way to place the pain in a creative space. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, Brandy has been through so much. I fell in love with her because she was so pure. And I remember her mother had gotten sick, and she had flown her mother to California. And when she had a stroke, and when she finally got her mom here, she still wanted to come to class. One day I came to class, and Brandy was rolling her mom in like a wheelchair bed. Okay. Because she wanted to put her scene up. She was like, how y'all doing? I'm sorry, but I had to bring mama today. So as soon as my scene is over, me and mama gonna leave. Is it okay for mama to be here? I'm like, well, she's right in the aisle.
Here.
But okay, we're gonna get this scene done. But it just shows her passion and her willingness to keep pressing, and refusing to let anything get in her way. I am so proud of her. And she deserves it, Corey. Like, every bit of this opportunity, she deserves it. She is a hard worker. She's pure, she's innocent, and she's been broken. You know what I mean? She's had a lot of experiences, and I am so happy for her. I cannot even begin to tell you.
Oh my God. Whew, that's such a tell. We're going to have to get her on the show and have a whole other thing. And maybe have you guys back together and do it. That's part 2. That's going to be like part 3 of this conversation.
Yeah, okay. She's amazing.
So in the episode you direct, I'm not going to give away, but you direct Loretta Devine. Woo.
Listen.
Her dancing. Just tell me about that.
Did you love it, sis?
I loved it.
first of all, I called Loretta.
Mm-hmm.
I did a movie with her, Jumping the Broom.
Yes.
And, her and I are very close. And we were seeing people. And I said to Katori, I was like, this Loretta. Okay. I was like, you want to call her? You want me to call her? And sometimes you're having issues with the agents and the people. I said, I'm calling her right now. I'm sending her the script and I'm going to ask her to do this so her and I can play. I gave her a call. She was like, well, just send it to me and let me see what's happening with it. She loved it. She loved it. She was like, oh my God, Tasha, this is so much dialogue. What you doing to me, girl? I was like, I got your back. And she came down. Her professionalism, her wisdom, her talent was everything we needed to make that role come alive. I mean, working with her was like a dream. It was just like a dream. I enjoyed every second of it. I was in tears, actually. I was like, I am literally here directing my friend. This is amazing. Oh, it was delicious and it was divine.
Literally, because for me, it was one thing for her to, we're not giving too much away, but she's Uncle Clifford's grandmother. And as she's in the P-Valley, the paint was gifted to him through her.
It was like a juke joint.
It was like a juke joint.
But she did music and all that. And she gave it over to her grandson, who's been having a hard time keeping them bills paid. You know what I mean? And
But it was interesting as she's having her memories of the club and the music and what she went through. And then I think you cut to, there's an older picture of her. And then seeing her in her younger self, I'm reminded of like, wow, this was Loretta Devine's life, just in that she came up through Broadway. Like, I think a lot of people forget that she was a Tony, she's a singer. That she started on the stage as a Broadway star in Dreamgirls. And, so she has that memory, she has that movement, but you brought it out, and I don't know, it just was a really nice memory to relive for a second.
That's amazing. I'm so glad. I mean, it was a beautiful time. We had a great time, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Two things about P-Valley, we can move on, but like, what character do you probably resonate the most with, being that this is a story, parts of this story of the series does resonate very closely to you?
Wow, which character? I feel like I'm a little bit of Mercedes and Uncle Clifford.
I could see that.
I swear, I feel like I'm a little bit of both of them. Like all of them are working from a place of great need. Everyone's in a survival place in space. You know what I mean? And I feel like I know what that feels like and looks like. And so, to be honest, a lot of them I can relate to, because I feel like there have been many moments in my life where I felt like I was constantly in a survival mode, fighting to survive, and it was interesting. I'm seeing, and especially for my episode, which was called Legacy, just really fighting for their legacy. Whether it was Mercedes, whether it was Uncle Clifford and, his grandmother, you know what I mean? But everyone's in this survival mode, fighting for what their legacies are. You know what I mean? So, I can relate to a lot of them, to be honest.
The episode prior to yours, spoiler alert for people, but there is the scene, and I'm not giving too much away, that Mercedes and her mother, and that's a whole other side show we can do. We can do the backstory there, that series. Right. But when they're in they end up in jail together. Right. And there's this basically a testimony in the jail cell, you know what I mean? Where the mom, Patrice, goes around and asks everybody what they're there for. And I was chatting with my producer and saying like the scene was so resonant because it just made you confront, well, no matter how hard you've been in life or whatever thing you've had to do and you're embarrassed about it now, the fact that you have to confront it and forgive it, or forgive yourself or forgive someone else, that scene was just so beautiful. So I'm curious, was there anything in your life that you've had to confront or forgive? Or confront and forgive?
Damn near everything. Okay. You know what I mean? Damn near everything in my life. Okay. I feel like we're constantly, the more we evolve, the more we, I think it comes out of our ability to confront. You know what I mean? Like when we confront things, we are able to move past things, and we're able to evolve. You follow what I'm saying? So
yes.
I feel if we want to grow, then confronting and forgiving is part of that system of growth. You follow what I'm saying? So I don't think we can grow as people without confrontation and without forgiveness.
Oof. Amen to that. Amen to that. All right. One last question about P-Valley. Speaking to you as a director, and yes, you have directed other things, but what is that thing as a director? What is that moment on set or that moment on screen where you've like, I've done that. I just did that. Like, what is that thing that you are like, you've wrapped? What is that? Is there a message? Is there a feeling that you try to convey through directing? And what was that moment in directing this particular episode of P-Valley, the legacy episode?
It's almost like when the vision is all coming together. It's like when the camera's landing where you need it to land, when the production design is doing what you need it to do, when the actors are doing what you need them to do, or they're okay with the choreography that you've created for the scene. You know what I mean? Doing episodic television, it can be a little more challenging than when you're doing a feature or your own movie, an independent movie, because you're working within the parameters of their time, and respecting the story. Like you're there to serve. You're there to serve the story. You're there to serve the writers and the producers, and you don't always have a lot of time to be able to do that, so you have to be prepared. And so I try to be as specific as possible when I'm working on an episodic, so that I don't have to try to figure it out once I get there, but I figured it out already. And if anything has to happen outside of that, then that's because spiritually, on a creative level, that's what's supposed to happen. So you have to kind of yield and trust, but when you see that everything came together, even better than what you planned, then you're like, okay, this is working. Like even down to the dance moment with Loretta, I worked really hard on that. You know what I mean? On us getting the moments of that, right. And that utilizing the whole space in her home. We didn't have a lot of time, but I had setups, I had moments that I was trying to capture, and then the actors have to trust you, because if you have specific blocking to get a certain shot, it's like you're going to like it if you trust me, and working with someone like Loretta, it was a blessing because she's such a professional that she just trusted the process, and she allowed me to do what I intended, and she helped me a lot. Her and Nico really helped me a lot to make those moments come alive, and I was very grateful. Like as a director, and I always tell my actors this in my studio, I'm like, your job is to really allow the director to be the potter and you're the clay. And I try to instill that in the actors I work with, to trust the process and trust the leadership of their director. So when you are able to work and it's a collaborative effort and everyone is in a space of trust and love and collaboration, it's the most beautiful feeling. It's the most invigorating feeling. It's like you get addicted, you know, like I dream about directing. I dream about it, you know.
What was the moment for you? Because you were really there. You were beyond as an on-screen actress. So what happened? I mean, well, what was the turning point for you to like, I want to step behind the camera? Or is this always a dream?
Well, it was always a dream, but also teaching acting every week. You know, a lot of people don't understand that part about me. You know, I feel like some people may have criticized me for it on a creative level where, you know, as far as being a teacher, they may look at me as a teacher and then they may not necessarily respect me, you know, as a director and then actor. They think, well, you're just focused on teaching. No, I'm not. Teaching is my community service to actors within our community. I care about the Black artists. I feel like it's part of my purpose. And in me giving back to my community of artists, I was able to fine tune my instrument as an actor and as a director. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes,
and
yes.
For people every week for 15 to 20 years, unless I was on set filming or shooting, you know, I was directing and I got the bug and I said, I need cameras in the room. I need cameras in here to capture some of this shit. You know what I mean? And so that desire and that passion, it wouldn't go out. It was burning and burning and burning. And then finally I got my shot in When Love Kills. I mean, I directed my short film before that. And then When Love Kills came along and I was able to do that. And then that opened up other doors. But, you know, I feel like when you have, you know, sometimes people put limitations on us as artists.
Yeah.
They try to box us in and they try to make us feel like, well, you only do that or you only do this. When we're artists, we're here to create on many levels, you know, whether it's comedy, whether it's drama, whether it's acting, whether it's directing, whether it's painting, whether it's music. You know, whatever it is, when you're an artist, you have to create. And I'm not going to let anybody put any limitations on me. I'm doing everything. I'm acting, I'm directing, I'm teaching, I'm producing, I'm developing. And then I'm going to travel and have fun in between time whenever this damn pandemic is over. Okay.
You're going to work out in your gym and drink your champagne.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yes.
You know, but I just enjoy all aspects of artistry. You know what I mean?
Wow. Thank you for that. What do you say to women who are trying to muster up the courage for their dreams? Like, you've been very honest about how this pandemic has really nurtured you and made you push yourself forward. But what do you say to those women who maybe don't have that encouragement or don't have that strength or don't have that confidence to move forward? What do you say to those women who are trying to muster up the energy to realize their dreams?
I have a few things to say. I'll say one, if you don't live now, you might not live later. That's one. Like on my way here, I've had a neighbor across the street for 12 years. And as I was on my way to my studio to have this interview with you, he passed away in his home. Right?
I'm so sorry.
I was hugging his son and hugging his wife and crying with them as I was putting things in the car. And for a hot second, I was like, wow, I'm so sad. My buddy is gone, right? And then Miss Naomi, his wife, said, you know he'd want you to go keep doing what you're doing, right? And I said, you know what? Yep, that's him.
Life is for the living.
And so when you look at everything that's going on, you know, you have buildings blowing up, you have relationships breaking up, you have people losing family members. And to the person with the dream, I say, what do you have to lose? When you're in a world with all of this stuff going on, all we have are our dreams. That's all I got. All I have is the dream and the vision that God placed in my heart. So, all right. So now, am I going to just allow myself to be paralyzed by everything? By the pandemic, by the fear of pursuing my dream? So I'm just going to tap out and stand still and not have any movement? There's a scripture that says your footsteps are ordered by the Lord. Guess what? They can't get ordered if you don't take the step. And not only that, and I've been saying this for years, Corey, you may have written it down in something or heard me say it, but I believe that our dreams are not just figments of our imagination, but I really believe that it's God showing us a glimpse of our future. And one thing I must say about this pandemic is that it's made me dream bigger, and it's made me pursue harder. It's made me fight more. It's made me dig deep. It has awoken everything in me.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what it's for. It's not to paralyze us and to stop us and block us. It's for us to take the time to write the vision down, whatever it is that we desire to do. Write it down, put it up on the wall, write it down wherever you can see it, feel it, and pursue it, because we don't have anything to lose. You live today, but you could die tomorrow. And if you don't live hard, you might not live to live.
Whew.
You follow what I'm saying?
God is speaking to you to me.
Yes.
He's speaking through, yes.
Live to live.
Mm-hmm.
Live to live.
Mm-hmm.
Pursue to live. Like, I believe that our dreams and our pursuing of those things are the very things that keep us alive.
Yeah.
It's the very thing that keeps us motivated and keeps us moving and energized. You know what I mean? We can't quit, sis.
No.
We cannot quit. So whatever it is, kick fear in the ass and pursue it with all you got.
Whew.
You hear me?
I heard it. I received it.
Yo, sis, I said goodbye to the man that lived across the street from me for 12 years on my way here to talk to you. He can't live anymore.
No.
He can't pursue his dreams anymore.
Yeah.
He can't pursue his passions anymore. But guess what? You can and I can. So while I'm living, I'm going to live to live. I'm going to do everything I want to do.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I have live tattooed on my inner wrist as a reminder to do just what you're saying. Whoa. Because as you go in here, I know, I just was like, as much as I'm here breathing, but I was like, but it's that reminder to live though, not just go about, because we get so used to that routine. But this reset, you know, has really made me like, no, what do I want to do that makes me happy? What do I want to do that brings me joy? What do I want to makes my spirit smile? And I'm trying to do at least one of those things every day, and not just pushing it to the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Tasha, thank you so much. This is not just for me, but this is for our audience. Well,
I'm so excited about it. And that's why, even for me, you know, just to talk about T-Saw online for a second, because when the pandemic happened, I literally, just before everything else shut down, I shut down my school, right? Because I didn't want anyone to get sick. I didn't want people to come into this space and to get sick, right? So I shut it down. I've had like 4 to 5 classes every week for 6 years, 7 years, okay, in my studio. And so all of these actors are now like out there with no home and no space and no, creative community that they're a part of. And I was just toiling like back and forth, like, what should I do? Should I make the transition or should I give it to somebody else to do? Because, like what's my next step? And then I said, and this is a part of me that, I know how much I love actors. I love actors. I love actors. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. My students mean so much to me. I could be on set doing the biggest movie of my life. I could be directing the most important scene. But if one of my actors are going through something, I'm going to always find time to support them, to make sure they're good. It's almost like I feel like a mama, auntie, and sister all across the board, right? And I said to myself, if you don't make the transition to teach them, some bootleg bitch is. Okay? I was like, I don't need no bootleg bitch coming over here trying to take advantage of these vulnerable spirits of creative energy. Because some people, everybody might not, love them like you love them. I feel like they're my children. So I said, you know what? All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start TSAW online. And I was excited about it because I said, all the actors that I've worked with in London and Africa and Chicago and Jersey and New York and Atlanta and Miami that have been emailing me saying, when are you coming to Miami to do a workshop? I wish I could come to LA for a month to work at TSAW. Now it's a global, worldwide online school. And they get to meet each other. I mean, it's like now they're going to have relationships with each other. It's like a community. You know what I mean? You're going to learn, you're going to meet people, you get to work with different people. And then when this pandemic is over, you get to visit countries and places that you've never seen because you now have an actor friend that you met in TSAW online. I was just excited about all the possibilities of it. I have an amazing Black staff of incredible teachers. It's funny, when I was redoing my website, the person that was doing my website had thrown all these people up there and was like, well, it should be multicultural. And, you need white, you need Black, you need Spanish, you need Asian, you need this, you need that. I was like, in 20 years, I think I've only had 1 or 2 white actors that have come to my studio. I said, it's Black.
It's Black and it's okay.
I was like, I haven't had too many people to come, you know what I mean, that were not African American. And I was like, you know what, I'm good for it to be Black. If other people want to come, come. But guess what? I've been serving the Black community of artists, the next Issa Rae's, the next Brandy's, the next Brandy Norwood, the next, Lance Gross, Eamon Joseph, Mary J. Blige, Andrew Day, Lauren London. I mean, I'm just so excited about the talent that I'm going to be a part of, helping them grow and pursue their purpose in the arts and create an amazing life and career for themselves. That's my legacy.
I remember meeting you early on and learning about TSAW, and I remember bringing up to the Essence team that you should come in and teach one of your empowerment sessions to the staff.
I love that.
I know we should talk offline about having you do it virtually. Have one.
I would love that. I would love it.
Because we need some motivating right now.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I love it. So that's what we're going to do.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Oh my God, I could talk to you forever, but we definitely going to do a part 2 because we need an episode after your. We need a Yes Girl episode after your episode of P Valley airs. We're going to get you and Brandy on the show, and definitely we're going to be back with Charlie because she is so heartbroken that she's not talking to you right now.
Well, you give her my love and you tell her everything I said.
I will. She's going to hear all of this. This whole episode needs to be a t-shirt.
Oh, sis. Well, I love
All of
you and I thank you for everything. Okay.
I love
And
you
let's
too.
stay focused and let's go get it.
We gonna get it. Woo, it's got
Okay.